Namaskar friends. Welcome to lecture 5 of module 9 of the stress management course. This particular module is focused upon individual differences in stress tolerance, and in initial 4 lectures we have talked about various factors that can make significant differences in the way the individuals perceive and experience stress and also how they deal with them. The last lecture of this module, however, deals with the ways in which one can work upon these factors so that he or she can increase the strength and the efficiency to tolerate stress and to resolve the problems which are present in his or her immediate environment. Let us begin with this lecture. Our lecture is divided into 3 main segments. The first segment talks about what happens if we have low stress tolerance. The second segment takes up the personality type A, B and C and provide specific techniques to work upon the shortcomings of those people who are having a particular type of personality and the way these shortcomings can be overcome so that the person becomes better adapted to his or her environment and reduces the level of perceived stress significantly. And the last segment talks about some general techniques that can be adopted by anybody and which are linked with the coping style and the demographic and psychological factors and the past experiences that can be adopted by anyone, no matter what kind of personality traits people have or whether they have the hardiness or not. These strategies can be utilized. So, you can call them the non-specific way to increase stress tolerance. Let us begin this presentation. So, as I told you, the first segment will talk about what happens if we have a low stress tolerance. Obviously, people who have low tolerance towards stress will get affected even by minute stressors if comes in their environment somehow. Every small problem can be perceived as a big problem and the level of stress experience will be disproportionately high. This can lead to impaired cognitive functions, poor decision making and significant impairments in work related performance. Moreover, mental health issues can be created. The most common of them are anxiety and depression, which can lead to burnouts in extreme cases. Besides this, occurrence of psychosomatic illnesses is quite common. It may range from hypertension, hyperglycemia, asthma to coronary heart diseases and even to cancer, which is common in people having personality type C, just because they rely heavily on suppressing or repressing their emotions instead of expressing them in a socially sanctioned manner and thus resolving their emotional problem. First of all, we will talk about personality type A. If you remember, in this module, in earlier lectures, we talked about 3 different personality types A, B and C. People having personality type A are characterized by time urgency, their extreme emphasis on attaining perfection, a sense of superiority over the others and their tendency to work continuously without taking breaks. They are hostile, highly competitive and do not hesitate in showing aggression. Overall, this type of personality is very much vulnerable towards developing stress related problems, both physical and psychological. So, it is important for the person himself who has type A personality as well as for people around him or her to handle the problems of this personality types effectively. First of all, the person should do a self appraisal, thorough self appraisal of oneself, so that the person can understand what kind of characteristic he or she possesses. A thorough appraisal, a proper reflection, introspection of oneself, of one's behavior, of one's characteristic can enable the individual to list the dominant characteristics of his personality, the dominant aspects of his behavioral repertoire. So, if the person finds himself entering into frequent aggressive behaviors, if a person finds himself being in constant hurry even for very normal issues of life, one can properly think about the corrective measures. It is important to believe that the personalities can be changed up to a satisfactory level if it cannot be completely transformed. In the very beginning, when we started talking about personalities, we discussed the definition of Allport, which suggested the personality is a dynamic organization of psychophysical systems, and the word dynamic itself refers to the fact that personality can be changed. It is not a static entity which is simply acquired, or it is simply adopted or gained from our ancestors because of the gene pools, and we cannot do anything to change it. No, it is not the matter. It can be reasonably modified. That is the word dynamic refers to. So, one has to believe in one's own ability to modify the aspects of personality which are causing continuous problems for us and for others around us. But if a person fails to see the problem as a problem, if a person starts perceiving or thinking that it is okay, it is just a part of my personality, I did that and it's okay, this is going to be there forever, other people should adjust with me, they should not complain about what I do sometimes, then the person will never be able to work on his own shortcomings. So, first a thorough self appraisal is required. One should retrieve the characteristics aspects of one's personality, and then one must be ready to change. One must see the problem as a problem and have a faith in his or her capacity to work on the significant aspects of it. Finally, we can design an intervention program, implement it, we can repeat certain practices to overcome the specific characteristics of type A personalities and review the changes periodically. If the strategies adopted by us are not working properly, we can think of some new innovative strategies to try instead of sticking to the same old methods even if they are not giving us good results. One very important thing that can be done is mindfulness training and relaxation training. Yoga and meditation can also help a lot, because all these mechanisms relax the system, which help in overcoming the trait hostility and aggressiveness, also the time urgency which is present typically in people having type A personality. If we talk about managing type B personality, you must remember that unlike type A personality people, they are easy going people. They are ambitious, but they want to carry on their ambitions on their own pace. They do not believe in intense competitions, rather they collaborate with people, they are accommodative. So, the main problem with such people is procrastination or poor time management. This is the main segment where they need to work upon, because this can cause significant stress if their important assignments are pending and they create a time pressure on them. What they can do? They should start enhancing their time management, try to utilize their time more effectively, avoid procrastination at all costs, and display their strength to formulate and achieve the ambitions timely. Then comes personality type C. Again, they are similar to people with type A personality in certain aspects, and they differ from them on the other hand as well. The similarity between type A and type C people lies in their ambitions. They both of them are achievement oriented. They want to accomplish their goals, but the main difference lies in the fact that type C people are relationship oriented. So, they can compromise with their goals and accomplishments in order to maintain the social relationship. They are basically people pleasing people. Okay. So, they are persons who have people pleasing tendency. So, what happens that sometimes they cannot express their real emotions because they do not want to displease others. So, they keep their emotions with them, they try to suppress them, they try to repress them because the problems are the emotions are very unpleasant, they are causing intense pain to those individuals. So, the only solution that comes to their mind is to suppress them. What can they do instead of suppressing or repressing emotion? They can focus upon the process of doing something instead of simply focusing on the outcome. So, even if they are not able to achieve the final goal, they can be satisfied by the fact that they have put their 100% effort in doing something. They can make a structured environment and maintain it where all the systems are in their usual place. They should establish a routine for gaining stability in their daily life. They should collaborate selectively instead of collaborating with everyone who comes to them with this purpose, because having a very large group of people or collaborators will create much more difficulties for them. They will try to make everybody happy, which is practically not possible, and if they try to do so, they are going to make compromises in their work life. Then they should be ready to indulge in difficult conversations instead of avoiding them. Here, difficult conversations means talking upon an issue which is conflicting, where they differ from other people, where their own priorities, their own value system, their own wants, their own desires are in direct contrast with those surrounding them. So, instead of yielding to group pressure all the time, they should be ready to indulge in difficult conversation, and they must try to convince other people regarding what they want, regarding their point of view, regarding what they need from them. Practicing mindfulness and meditation is again helpful. Their mistakes should be taken as learning opportunities instead of something for which they should feel guilty. Self-care activities must be prioritized, and they should set clear boundaries to prioritize their own well-being. Now, we will talk about certain practices which are of use for everyone, no matter what kind of personality type a person has or what kind of demographic or psychological factors they have. These strategies are useful and helpful for managing stress and to increase the tolerance of stress for everybody. The first of it is cognitive reappraisal of situation. So, re-examining the stressor in a more positive way, perceiving difficulties as opportunities to grow, to showcase one's own talent, or a means to explore one's potentials, can be a useful way to reduce the stress. If a student perceives examination as something threatening, his or her behavior response towards it would be different from a student who perceives it as a step to move to another higher level of academics. So reappraisal is always desirable and it is always helpful. We have already talked about seeking social support, which is very essential, especially in people coming from collectivistic societies. So wherever the group ties are strong and the society, the group is more important than individuals, one can always look towards significant others in life for help, practical assistance and advice. We can also share our emotions, our thoughts, our opinions, attitudes and views about a particular thing and discuss about the accuracy of all these things. If we find that our own perception, our own emotions are somehow inaccurate, we can correct it or we can take the help of other people in rectifying those values, perceptions, emotions or anything like that, maybe an attitude. So finally, as Mahatma Gandhi said, be congruent, be authentic and be yourself is the mantra to keep the stress low and increase the tolerance towards it. Let's have a quick recap of what we have learned in this lecture. Low stress tolerance can lead to impaired performance, mental health issues and physical health problems. Managing different types of personalities can include different kind of strategies. So, if a person has type A personality, there may be different strategies that can work for him as compared to a person with personality type B or C. We have already gone through the specific strategies that can be suggested to people having different personality types. And finally, we learned about certain non-specific general techniques which can help us reducing stress. So that's all for this lecture. As always, here are the references and the recommended readings to enhance your knowledge. Thank you so much for your patient listening.